And welcome back to the Quirk Creation Series. This one comes to us from Grape Sauce, who asked the question, what is the quirk of Peter Parker Spider-Man? Now, you did say Spider-Man. You didn't specify Spider-Man. Most people, when they specify Spider-Man, actually give me the name. So if you're just saying Spider-Man, I'm assuming it's Peter Parker. With that said, Peter Parker's a unique case because while he does obviously have all these superhuman abilities, spider sense, superhuman strength, wall crawling, they were not an inherent ability like a mutation is in the Marvel Universe. It was through an accident, bite through a radioactive spider he got it from. And because of that, it kind of makes you... And he went through mutations with his mutation. In the series, growing the multiple arms, turning into man spider, a few other things here or there. He had organic webbing for a while until he lost that ability. So it does raise the question, how do you do a quirk for Spider-Man and still keep it in the same vein as Spider-Man? Well, I think it's actually a very simple way to go about it. You tone down, first off, his hero name would be Spider-Man. He would still probably wear this costume and everything. His quirk would be Spider. Now, what you basically do, I think, is you go a combination of toning down his physical strength, because Spider-Man's strength is, by My Hero Academia standards, is insane. He is actually probably would be among, I don't know the top 5 strongest physical characters in My Hero Academia, but certainly in the top 10. So you know what? I take that back. You can leave his strength as it is. There are plenty of guys, because his strength level, it's fluctuated, but at its peak, it's been in the upper tens of tons. I don't think it's ever crossed like 100 tons, but it's been in that range. And we've seen definitely stronger people in My Hero: Gigantomachia, Prime All Might, Deku. Obviously, you'd have to add Shigaraki, completed as he is now. And there are some other strength quirks that are pretty impressive as well. Mount Lady might qualify for that. But Spider-Man would definitely he'd be in good company in terms of his strength. But everything else, you just make it a natural part. Some of it you might tone down. For instance, his spider sense you might tone down a little bit. And then when the quirk awakens, amp it up to its full capabilities. Either way, it would still be up to him to react to what he's got going on around him. The thing you would change, though, is either you could make the webbing organic, or it could be a support item. You could easily just make it his web shooter as a support item. He makes the webbing himself. He'd still be a genius. So that's an option you'd go. Personally, to make the quirk spider a bit more effective, I would make it organic webbing. Now, that sounds all well and good. He's got his strength, endurance, a little bit easier recovery. But by all accounts, he looks human. That seems a little odd for a quirk that's called Spider, that gives him the abilities of a spider in My Hero Academia, when most people with an animal-based quirk, like, say, Sue, while she's mostly still human, she's clearly got more of the frog-like design to her. She's got the slightly wider mouth. She's got the long tongue. She can regurgitate her stomach. She's got the bigger hands and feet and a little bit of the bow-leggedness. Someone else with an animal quirk right at the top of my head here. There's the guy. Is the one from class 1B, the kid from 1B who's got like the beast quirk? That he's still constantly very furry and almost looks like a Sasquatch kind of. Peter's would be a little bit different because until his quirk awakened, he'd mostly look human. It's when his quirk awakens that I think you would see these true spider-like qualities come out. Now, fortunately for Peter, I think we will have it that he can kind of turn it off, the physical traits, but what would happen is he would grow the extra set of arms. And the longer I think he keeps in the spider form, the more he kind of turns, it gets like the spider hair, starts to get these claws, he's got multiple webbing, his spider sense is going crazy. So I think we can go. I don't want to go the full man spider route because I feel like from a physiological standpoint, that would be so painful to deal with constantly, and it probably would scare the piss out of people. That's not to say quirks like that don't exist and heroes don't have quirks like that, but I don't know. I think that might be just going a little too far. I think the idea might be that maybe he keeps growing hair. Maybe his jaw can split like Mandible. And like the first time we did it, it ripped his costume. So you can do something along those lines. And then when he's like done, he can physically the arms can just mold back into his, like maybe the arms are actually stored in his body. His body goes through some sort of quirk evolution, physical evolution, that allows him to store these arms in his body, and then he just pop them back out. Maybe his, like I said with his jaw, maybe he does have these extra fangs that he kind of gets, but the fangs themselves can retract, and his jaw basically now just has this kind of like this line in there that people can see, and it ultimately kind of just expands like a predator almost. That's kind of what I could see going on there. But yeah, this one I think would be a solid quirk for Peter. This is one where his powers really do lend itself very well to a My Hero Academia world. There are some characters who you have to really stop and consider how the hell you're going to do that. And then others who actually have much more of a natural foot in the door when it comes to this. I think Spider-Man's definitely a more natural foot in the door. But I digress. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.